Scuba diving and international politics set the stage for The Devil Makes Three, Ben Fountain's novel grounded in the events in Haiti in 1991.
It starts the day after the coup d'etat that deposed President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. I have three main characters, and they are fictional, but they're trying to make their way through this very tough time in Haiti.
Haiti's history drew Fountain to the island nation.
Legacies of slavery, genocide, the plantation economy, capitalism, globalism. All this started with the push of Europeans into the New World, and the most concentrated form of all these things I felt like happened in Haiti. Haiti was ground zero for 500 years of New World history.
Ben Fountain was not always an author, but a deeply ingrained passion to write compelled him to leave a stable career as a lawyer to pursue his dream.
I practiced for 5 years. Felt like 50. Needing to write was a powerful thing in me because I walked away from, a good career at the age of 30 and started in first grade all over again. It's like, I got to figure out how to write.
The research he gathered during his early writing career resulted in his first trip to Haiti.
I had this idea for a novel, and so I just showed up one day. I would go into the hard parts, and this was during the coup regime. I wasn't with the government, I wasn't with an NGO, I wasn't a journalist. I was a guy kind of floating around Haiti. That was just part of what I had to do, just put myself out there and see what happens.
He never published that original novel, but Fountain has established himself as a prominent writer. In The Devil Makes Three, he explores the multifaceted aspects of power, agency, international politics, and human nature. And he also has a warning for his native country.
I look at the United States now, it looks to me a lot like Haiti looked in 1991. But then I think, well, is Haiti in 2023, is that where we're gonna be in 30 years? Are we gonna be in Mad Max world?
Ben Fountain, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, it was a pleasure taking in your book, Devil Makes Three, a really in-depth look at Haiti and what was going on in the year 1991. This is a fictional work based off real-world events.
Yeah, you could call it a historical novel. Recent history. And I stay very close to the historical record, both the overt historical record, and I did a substantial amount of research trying to figure out what was going on behind the scenes and under the table.
Tell me a bit about the book that you would like to expose.
It starts the day after the coup d'etat that deposed President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. He was a Catholic priest. His parish was the very tough slum of La Saline in Port-au-Prince. He was a political activist, and he was swept into office in a popular landslide. Haiti's a really poor country. It's a country of tremendous inequality, and his program was get these people out of dire poverty. 7 months later, he was deposed by the military in a very bloody coup d'etat. What followed that was 3 years of a very oppressive military regime with an international embargo put on the country to try to force the regime from power. That's the historical context of the book. I have three main characters, and they are fictional, but they're trying to make their way through this very tough time in Haiti. Trying to make a living, trying to figure out, how to live decently, honorably. One is an expat American man named Matt Amaker. He's in his late 20s. He owns a scuba dive shop in Haiti. And so the coup d'etat and the embargo, it kills the tourist industry, and so he and his Haitian partner, Alex Variel, their business partners, they have to figure out, okay, what are we going to do now, to make a living? Matt, he's kind of a random American dude. He had one semester of college, and then he dropped out just to become a dive guy. And he's been floating around the Caribbean for the last 8 or 9 years, just living this kind of carefree life. And then he and Alex start this dive shop together, and Matt realizes he really wants it to be a success. He loves Haiti. He likes it here. This is his place. And so he kind of digs in, and he can't be a casual expat once the coup happens. He really has to try to begin to understand why things are happening the way they are. Another main character is Audrey O'Donnell. She is a rookie CIA case officer. Obviously, she's American. Haiti is her first posting, and she finds herself getting involved in all kinds of operations that she finds morally questionable. The third main character is Alex Variel's little sister, Misha Variel. She is a brilliant young scholar. She went to college at age 16, graduated at 19. Now she's at Brown University getting her PhD in the literature of the Black Atlantic. And she comes back to Haiti for the holidays, Christmas holidays, and she decides she's going to stay. She'll take a leave of absence from her PhD program. Because she's Alex's sister, and because Matt is Alex's business partner, they're naturally in the same orbit. And even though Matt has, this huge crush on her, he tries not to be a pest. I mean, he tries to respect, her space, but he's also madly in love. And she comes to have a different attitude toward him over the course of the book. I mean, he has to develop and mature and grow over the course of the book in order to survive. And Audrey and Alex Variel meet, and they fall madly in love.
You talk quite a bit about the strata, the very rich, and we get a little bit into them, the middle class, if you will. Not so much on the lower class Haitians, because all of that was sort of happening to them. That was, to me anyway, it seemed more like a background.
It does take place, for the most part, among the upper class and middle class of Haiti. And at a certain point, we also get into the military class. The head of the coup regime, General Concert, he's a big scuba buff. And so he takes Matt on as kind of his scuba dive pet. And so whenever the general wants to go diving, he gets Matt over and he says, hey, let's go diving, let's go look for treasure. And Matt is in no position to say no. And what the lower classes are enduring, probably our best view into that part of the experience is through Misha. When she starts working at the hospital, and it's a hospital where everybody comes, and whether you have any money or not, this is where you come. And so Misha, this upper class girl, this aspiring PhD student, this scholar, this book nerd, she is suddenly like up to her neck in the reality of the lower class in Haiti. And so, I've thought about that a lot, Rod. It's like, am I doing justice to the experience of, the poor people in Haiti? But also, do I have the right to write their story from a direct point of view unless I've been immersed in it? And I can't say I've been immersed in it.
Why not? What makes you think you weren't immersed?
I would go into the hard parts. I went into Cité Soleil, which is one of the toughest slums in the world, and La Saline, and out in the countryside, where there is dire poverty, but of a different kind. But to really do justice to that experience, I would have had to live in one of those places for 6 months, 8 months, a year, to really do it justice. And this book is in large part an exploration of power.
How so?
How it's exercised, who has it, how do you get it, how do you keep it, how do you increase it, what do you do with it when you get it? And I think that is one of the main reasons I wrote this book, to explore all these questions. And these questions of power, are presented in pretty direct form in the book. I mean, we get to know General Concert, the workings of the military regime. We go pretty deeply into Audrey's world of a CIA case officer and the various operations she's running. I mean, she's running a covert operation to bring arms in to supply the military regime in direct contravention of the international embargo, and also in direct contravention of stated U.S. policy. So you got the State Department on one hand saying, we want to bring democracy back to Haiti, we want to bring Aristide back to Haiti. You got the CIA over here saying, there's no way he's ever coming back. And by the way, we like this military regime, and so we're bringing in, arms to supply it. And then, of course, you get the drug angle, feeding into that.
How did you come about writing about Haiti? Why is that a subject that you wanted to jump into?
I made my first trip to Haiti in 1991.
Okay.
I practiced law for 5 years, quit in the late 80s at the age of 30, and wrote short stories for a few years. But I started keeping files on subjects that caught my interest, and Haiti was one of those things. And the Haiti file, it started out real thin, and it just kept getting thicker and thicker. And what was going on was this growing feeling that Haiti was ground zero.
Ground zero for what?
Ground zero for 500 years of New World history. 500 years of Europeans coming to the New World, and then what followed. I felt like it was ground zero, number one, for genocide of indigenous people. Within 30 years of Europeans coming to Hispaniola, there were no indigenous people left. I mean, there were a few remnants, and they intermarried, into other populations. Also, ground zero for Europeans kidnapping and transporting 13 million Africans from their homes to the New World to be held in bondage, often in the most inhumane circumstances imaginable. And Haiti was one of the worst of the worst. I mean, it was a French colony. It was an extremely lucrative French colony, and slavery there was so brutal that the average lifespan of a person held in bondage there was 7 years. And the enslaved people in Haiti rarely reproduced. They were worked so hard. So, all these things we live with today, legacies of slavery, genocide, the plantation, economy, capitalism, globalism, all this started, with the push of Europeans into the New World, and it's the most concentrated form of all these things I felt like happened in Haiti, and these legacies were still playing out in these very brutal, direct ways in Haiti. And I felt like if I could understand Haiti, or start to understand Haiti, I can start to begin to understand why the world is, why it works the way it does, why certain people have power, other people are oppressed, why certain people have all the wealth, others have nothing. It was in this very concentrated form in Haiti, and so I started going.
How often did you go?
I went 2 or 3 times a year from 1991 to 2016.
Wow.
And I wrote a novel in the 1990s about Haiti. It wasn't any good. It went in the drawer. But I kept going to Haiti, kept writing about it, short stories and journalism.
What did you do when you went to Haiti?
I was 33 years old. I'd never been out of the country.
Where are you from?
I grew up in North Carolina,
Okay.
but I moved to Dallas in 1983. I've been there ever since. But I didn't know a soul in Haiti. I had a little bit of French left over from college, but I had this idea for a novel, and I thought, well, I've got to go to Haiti. And so I just showed up one day. My wife said, you can go for a week. And so I went for a week and, hung out. There were specific places I wanted to go and see, but basically I was trying to get the lay of the land and meet a few people and just see, like, is my feeling going to be confirmed or not, that things are happening in Haiti that I need to engage with and try to understand. So that first trip confirmed my feeling, and so I kept going back. I was one of the few people in Haiti, and this was during the coup regime,
Okay.
first 3 years, where I wasn't with the government, I wasn't with an NGO, I wasn't a journalist, I was a guy kind of floating around Haiti, and with no portfolio. But that was just part of what I had to do, just put myself out there and see what happens.
Have you figured out why Haiti drew you in so much?
There's the intellectual explanation, which I gave you before. It's like, why is the world the way it is? Why does it work the way it does? And me feeling like if I go to Haiti and study Haiti, and if I'm diligent and attentive, maybe Haiti can teach me some things. But there's also the visceral pull. It's like, say you walk into a room and you see all these good-looking people, and they seem interesting, and they seem like they've got it together. Why are you attracted to this one instead of that one? Why do you go over here instead of over there, when objectively everything seems the same? And I think that's part of what my attraction was to Haiti. It was visceral. It was instinctive.
When you say visceral and instinctive, do you think it felt more, more real, more tangible? And can you maybe connect that to why you stopped practicing law, which was it's a headier game? I mean, you were JD, and
Yeah.
you were actually practicing for a bit, but you stopped at the young age of 30.
Yeah. I practiced for 5 years. It felt like 50. I had this powerful compulsion to write. And I went to law school trying to avoid it.
You went to law school to avoid writing.
Yeah, because it scared me. It seemed like the hardest thing I could try to do, and a very tenuous, risky way to try to live your life. And so I drifted into law, thinking I would have this nice, safe, lucrative career, respectable. Your parents are proud of you. Your in-laws are proud of you. You have a place in the world. You're validated. You have this external validation. But I guess needing to write was a powerful thing in me, because I walked away from, a good career at the age of 30 and started in first grade all over again. It's like, I got to figure out how to write. Certainly that was a turning point in my life. Maybe I started trusting my instincts, or, paying more attention to what was truly powerful in me, as opposed to, looking to the outside world for answers as to how I should be living my life.
Haiti was the first rebellion of slavery in the Western Hemisphere to kick out the big power at the time, which was the French, which held on to Haiti. It's said that Haiti has been cursed. It has never been able to rise to the level that other countries in the Western Hemisphere have been able to do. How did you incorporate that, or how do you think that plays a part in the whole story?
Well, the Haitian slave revolt, it was much more than a revolt. It was a revolution. These people held in bondage, most of whom had been born in Africa, they kicked out the French and they created something new under the sun. And what they created was the most advanced constitution in the world to that point. And when I say that, historians say, the Haitians created the most radical constitution of its time. And my feeling is, no, they created the most reasonable constitution of their time, the most humanist, the most equal. Just to give you an example, in the Haitian Constitution, if you were an indigenous person and you were under persecution, or if you were an enslaved person and you made it to Haiti's borders, you had asylum. Haiti brought you in. It's like you are free here, like you are welcome here. And you can contrast that with, our current situation in the U.S. and where the law stands. When Haitians made their revolution, when they kicked off their slave masters and became free, essentially what they were saying to the world was, no, we reject this role you have assigned us, this role in which we human beings are essentially economic units. We are units of labor, and our humanity means nothing. We are basically property. We reject that. We say no. That was a powerful thing to say to the metropole, the power centers of the world like Paris and London and of course the United States in the course of time. Haiti has always paid the price for that. It's paid the price culturally. It's always been, characterized as this barbaric, superstitious place. And it has suffered the price economically. For instance, the French came back in 1826, and they demanded that Haiti pay reparations to French property owners for the loss of their property, i.e. their slaves, human beings. And that demand came with a fleet, and basically the French's proposition to Haiti was, we are going to bomb your cities to rubble unless you agree to pay this indemnity. And the indemnity was, many millions of francs. Haiti did not finish paying off that debt until the late 1940s. And to pay off the debt, there was a national drive throughout the country, pay off the debt. And so school children would bring pennies to school and drop in the box. This is to pay off the debt to the French. 150 years later, Haiti is still paying. And so when you think about all the wealth that went out of Haiti into France, into the rest of the Western world, because eventually a lot of American banks bought into that debt. And so they were holding a great deal of that debt. And in fact, Haiti's gold reserves are still sitting in the vaults of J.P. Morgan Chase in New York City to this day because of that debt. So when you think about the millions of wealth, not only that went out of Haiti, but the opportunity cost that were lost for Haiti to develop itself, the cost is incalculable. Mm-hmm. And so when we look at, all the disasters, all the hardships of Haitian history, I think we need to look to historical reasons and economic reasons for the explanation, not, these fantasies of culture and these projections of exotification and superstition on Haiti. I mean, Haiti is the way it is for good, solid historical reasons that are there in the record if we choose to look.
Where do you see Haiti going? Because we've already talked a little bit about the state that Port-au-Prince is in right now. The rest of the half or third of Hispaniola is more or less normal-ish.
Yeah.
But it's not a rich nation. Since you've spent way more time, I've spent zero time in Haiti. Mm-hmm. Where do you see the country going? It's an impossible thing. It's an impossible question to fully answer. But where do you think it's going? And where do you wish for it to go?
Right. It's very tough in Haiti right now. I mean, the economy is in tatters. Security is non-existent in large parts of the country. The UN has it's gotten its act together to the extent of it's preparing to send a security mission to Haiti led by a Kenyan contingent. I think what's going to be different this time around and more difficult is thanks to our wonderful arms manufacturers, Haiti has been flooded with guns the last 10 years. Everybody has guns. And often these are high-powered weapons. And so what this UN security mission is going to have to contend with is an extremely well-armed populace, and with gangs who are going to try to defend their territory and defend their economic, little feudal states with high-powered weaponry. And so that is a new thing that's going to be a factor this time around. Mm-hmm. when this international mission comes to Haiti. So I think it's going to be very tough to get control of the situation. I think so far a big mistake has been made in not listening to Haitian civil society and what the country needs. I mean,
what are they prescribing?
The international community and the U.S., they have always looked to the elites, for advice and counsel and guidance on what to do in Haiti. And, the English-speaking elites, the merchant elite, the security forces, the political elite. And I think we really need to look to a broad spectrum of civil society and listen, do a lot of listening to their ideas about how to build a grassroots democracy, where the people have real power, not this minimalist democracy where you have the facade of democracy. Like you have elections, you have a so-called free press, you've got political parties, but nothing ever really changes. The real power is back, it's above and beyond. Real power doesn't rest with the people, but it's going to take a long concerted effort to get Haiti back on its feet.
An effort internally, externally, from Haitians that are abroad in the diaspora, or which has been tried for a long time from other nations. I know that France is not welcome. The U.S. intervention is not necessarily welcome either, but it has swayed and played a role in having Haiti be what Haiti has been.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a recalibration of approach and thinking. Let me say this, Rod. In all of U.S. policy for the last 40 years, whenever the U.S. is acting with regard to Haiti, I mean, the stated policy always says the right things. We want to create democracy in Haiti, prosperity in Haiti. We want all the right things for Haiti. But when you peel back the layers, the sum effect is these are policies designed for the benefit of the U.S., not Haiti. These are policies that open up U.S. markets to Haitian markets. These are policies that end up destroying Haitian agriculture and encourage people to come to the cities and work for basically slave wages in the factories. I mean, these are things that benefit the international community and the U.S. economy. These are not things that throw off much benefit at all for Haiti.
Mm-hmm. If you were to write a next chapter for this book, or an epilogue, or spin it off into a series, where would you go?
You know, Rod, I mean, Haiti is so intense and so kinetic, and I mean, when we think back, I mean, the book ends around early 1993. Mm-hmm. That's 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And when we think about all Haiti has been through since then, a number of different regimes, another coup d'etat in 2004, then the earthquake in 2010, and then this series of natural disasters following, the assassination of the president in 2021. It's one thing after another. And so I don't know. The story is ongoing, I will say that. But I don't know where I would try to drop myself in. Maybe in the here and now. You know, at one point in the book, Dr. LaRocque, who Misha is working for at the hospital, he says, you know, Haiti is Mad Max. Haiti is Mad Max world. And he's speaking in 1992. He says, you think about it, it's just like the Mad Max movie. You've got, you know, social breakdown. You've got, you know, pandemics, environmental, you know, destruction. You've got drug gangs running everything. You've got widespread violence, political and societal dysfunction. He said, Haiti is Mad Max. When we look at Haiti now, the gangs are running Port-au-Prince. There is no law and order in Port-au-Prince. In some of the smaller cities, you know, society is still cohering somewhat, but it's in very desperate, dire straits. But, you know, I don't really have to look beyond Haiti. I look at the United States now. It looks to me a lot like Haiti looked in 1991.
How so?
Extreme political polarization, political dysfunction, very prominent authoritarian strains in our politics, violence in our politics, often extreme violence in our politics, lots of armed people running around. We've got public health crises. We just came through a pandemic. When I was writing this book in 2019, 2021, 22, I started to realize writing about Haiti in 1991, it feels a lot like the U.S. right now, as if Haiti was ahead of the curve in 1991. But, you know, then I think, well, is Haiti in 2023, is that where we're going to be in 30 years? You know, are we going to be a Mad Max world?
Is that your next book you're previewing right now?
No, but kind of stalking around the edges of it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think you're going to go with your writing next?
Well, I'm 150 pages into a new novel. Devil Makes 3 was a long and heavy lift. And so I was thinking, if I ever get through with this book, I want to write something short, fast, and fun. And so I turned in final revisions on Devil Makes 3 in March. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I'm not tired. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel kind of liberated, actually, so I'm just going to start this other thing I've had in mind. Mm-hmm. And so I started writing, and the pages are coming pretty quickly, which is a first for me. Usually I just have to just grind. And so the pages are coming. I'm about 150 pages into it, more than halfway. I'm wondering, is this how normal writers feel? You know, they sit down and the pages come, but...
Is there anything that you can say about it now, or that you want to say about it?
It takes place in the U.S., more or less in the here and now, maybe a few years out, a few years in the future. But so it's the United States, but maybe everything is a bit more so, a bit more exaggerated, a bit more intense and surreal. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so you're writing Black Mirror. That's good to know. Ben Fountain, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rod.